thing.
You have Void ET. You have Void Marana. You can set up arrows with the Chrono for early kills. Void is a good backline jumper.
Is so good.
Radiant team back.
There it is.
It's too good. I mean, it's too good here. Like you can't not pick it. I feel like you need a little bit more to throw into the Chronosphere. So if you're Brazil, I think you very much so consider banning. Let's see. So we need.
Wouldn't mind like a Lina or a Quap, perhaps, to throw stuff in.
Sure, Lina.
We know that Quinn plays a fantastic Lina.
Well, Quinn could also play the Mirana, and then you could Phoenix as well.
That is true.
10 seconds.
Let's see. How long has it been since Quinn has played Mirana, though? That's the question. I don't know if he's been spamming it. You could DP as well. I know Quinn's he's a big DP fanatic.
Yes, he does like Death Prophet.
But I also have the gut feeling that you don't have quite enough backline jumping. It's kind of just the Void, and he's not the absolute best. There's, like you mentioned, there's silence, there's stuns, like there's stuff to deal with the Void. So I think one more backline jumper would also be nice, which is why the Storm is being banned. Let's see.
There's still no Void Spirit's out too. You could Ember's also all right. So all the spirits except for Earth Spirit.
Which Quinn does.
We're not gonna see that. Get out of here.
We're 100% not going to.
Because this is a low prio. Get out of here.
I don't think this is a great Earth Spirit game, but
no.
He does play it. I think the DP is a pretty solid call. Zeus is not the worst. You do have Zeus versus SK in terms of you can reveal his invis. Zeus.
What about a Pugna against the Leshrac too?
Pugna is fast. Pugna is definitely fast. You could like outpace the Arc Warden for sure. Yeah, I definitely don't mind the Pugna. The only thing is it's not a backline jumper, but I suppose the argument is like you don't need to jump the backlines when you're just killing their towers.
Or when you're just being a little battery too, a little life battery and keeping your Faceless Void alive. Because right now they don't have any save other than, you could kind of use the Elder Titan as a save, just throwing out the Echo Stomp, but it's not traditional, right?
Yeah. This is what you sound like. This is true. This is true. Quinn Hero, though. Quinn Hero. I mean, DP just seems like the obvious choice. Just given
Death Prophet
Quinn.
or Lina. The cheese. Okay. The cheese of a Kunkka X and a Mirana arrow.
It's like his other like big hero. I actually can't believe I mean, he hasn't picked that in competitive at all is the thing.
It's been he's picked it, but it's been a while, I think.
He spams this in pubs, but he doesn't play it in competitive too much for whatever reason. Maybe SVG just doesn't value it that much, and Quinn is just like, I like playing Kunkka.
Well, this
is
fits.
One of his best
gives
heroes.
Them everything that they need here. It gives you, something to throw into the boat. It gives you a lane dominator. It gives you something that can, beef you up with a little bit of the rum buff. Pairs up well with Mirana. Pairs up well with a lot of these guys, actually. I like this. I think this is
it does let you like commit to the backlines too. You can just X this guy. I like this Necro pick a lot. This Necro does exceptionally well no matter what core he's up against in this game.
It's just
DPS
all magic
against Void.
Well, it's so much magic damage though. Again, like I don't.
Sure, but I mean the thing with magic damage though is like if you have instant disable, such as a Sand King, then it's fine, right? It's like you can follow up and disable before people get their BKBs off. It'd be different if there wasn't some sort of instant disable because then they can just freely press BKB once they get it.
I don't know. This draft from Quincy Crew, I like this a lot personally. I'm on the Quincy Crew. What about you?
10 seconds remaining.
Well, I mean, I think Quincy is just the team secret of the Americas. Like, I think this team is just
that's high praise right there.
I think this team is just like leaps and bounds above the other teams in this region currently. Individually, maybe not so much. Like their players are. It's not that they're bad players. It's that when you look at Team Brazil, these are 10 out of 10 tier 1 caliber players as well. But Quincy Crew as a team is just so fast, so insanely fast. And then Quinn as well. Like, this is an 11K MMR player. The guy is a literal, actual god.
He's a beast.
So he is a beast. He is possibly the best player in the region currently. So it's a tough team to beat. But Brazil, they've done it. They literally did it like yesterday. So once again, another tier 1 caliber team. It's just that they're new. This is not.
I always take that with a grain of salt, though, whenever we see, you know, the group stages, because I feel like people are trying things out. They're not necessarily playing at their max capacity, because we've seen so many of these NA tournaments at this point, right? That are just, you know, the league setup. And it always feels like to me that Quincy crew is just kind of playing with their food during them. And then when it's go time, they're just like, done, just slaughtering people left and right. So I'm not sure about that, but it is going to be fun to watch these guys.
It is worth mentioning that Quincy crew has like historically lost games to random teams in group stages.
That's true.
If you're Team Brazil, you're still like, okay, well, we beat the best team in the region. This bodes very well for us, considering we're relatively new, at least when compared with Quincy crew. But Quincy crew does, like you said, I don't think it's that they necessarily experiment. It's just that they're very good at winning a series. A match, maybe they'll lose a game here or there, but they're very good at winning a series.
That's true. That's a good way to put it. They generally figure out what they need to adjust very rapidly, which I think is pretty good, and is also a mark of a tier 1 team. You know, the fact that you can lose a game, but immediately identify this is what our problems were, this is what we need to do differently, and get yourself back in that frame of mind to go and take the other 2 games. But no, these guys, you talk about them like, oh, they're a fairly new stack, but they've all played together forever. I mean,
that's okay. I totally know where you're going with that, and I agree. But with that being said, like, everybody in NA has played. Like, I've also played with all of these players, right?
That's true.
Like,
yes.
Like B or C tier analysts. Like, we've all played together in this region is the thing. Like, people know it's a pretty tight-knit community. People know each other pretty well at this point. There really isn't like an old guard that's gatekeeping or anything anymore. That's more so like, you know, years and years ago that was a thing. Usually people are pretty friendly too. Like, with the tips, you can see that this is
unless you're
unless you're Zoomers. It's
You've been voided.
But these
boys
these players go way back. Yeah, these players go way back. I think generally, I don't know any Brazilian player that people have a lot of problems with. Like, the Brazilian players are just typically very, very respectful and chill.
I know a couple, but
Peru and America players, maybe not so much.
I know more than a couple for that one. But you know, we're not here for that beef. We're not that drama right now.
No, not now. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. But yeah, getting into position for this bottom round. Looks like Brazil wants to make sure that they can secure that, and they've placed their own supports and whatnot here on the top lane. Also, shout out, you know, we talk about Team Brazil. We've got Lelis over here, who is Brazilian himself. So
true. Yeah.
We got Brazilians everywhere, man. Taking over.
Yeah, spreading. Good, big fan of Brazil.
I love their food. I think it was Guashi, the manager of Beast Coast. She was saying how much she misses Brazil because there's certain foods that you can get there that they make en masse and they're very cheap. Coxinha being one of them. And I was saying, you know, I've made my own, but they're a lot of work. She's like, I know, and they're so cheap down there. You can just buy like a whole box of them and you don't have to like put in all the work and the effort. Now I'm hungry.
There is a oh geez, there's an energy drink sponsor to this tournament, so I can't say this. But
you can't. I know what you're talking about, though, and I'm sure every single Brazilian watching this right now can also figure that out.
There is a good Brazilian drink that is now becoming available in Canada, and it's
nice.
I am a fan.
Well, you know, actually, they can make a flavor of Monster that would have a similar fruit.
Well, guaranara is like I'm horribly mispronouncing it, but it is like a fruit, right? So it
is a fruit. Yep. I've seen like soft drinks in Germany that are also flavored with it. So that's what we need, Monster. Get all the Brazilians to jump on board with all your other delicious, wonderful flavors, like mango loco.
Oh, it's a
It's a berry, like a berry kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, it looks horrific, but it's very tasty. Good sugar replacement. That's why I know it, because I drink the sugar freeze. Anyway, this is horribly tangential. What's going on in this game here?
Classic NA cast with Moxxie and Jenkins.
Yeah, this is a classic. That's why they invite us back for some reason. Why do you keep inviting us? Please.
They like our quirkiness, clearly.
Yes, yes. That's a nice way of putting it.
Man, SVG and Flea are just duking it out over here on the side, just non-stop. They tried to go and block the camp. They immediately dewarred it. Just back and forth between these two. They have their own little mini battle, Yawar and King RD facing off. Not super comfortable for Yawar here, as King RD does have some really good spells that he's able to spam out, but can always just time walk off some of that damage.
Yep, it's a classic like range hero versus melee hero. So, you know, King RD's gonna have the advantage here, but SVG has the advantage against Flea. Clearly, he's beating his ass.
Yep.
Not an easy hero to trade up against.
We'll go for a little bit of the hit here. Doesn't seem like Yawar even cares. Isn't even gonna bother using that time walk.
Yeah, they were debating it. They were trying to get him to use it and then stun him after and then kill him.
You fools!
So he wasn't using it, which was definitely the right call.
Dire's courier has been
Use wise to your plans.
That's why King RD ran in with the edict first. Yawar's gonna be careful though. Flea almost hit that stun there, and I think if King RD was level 2, they probably get that kill.
Nice Echo Stomp over here onto Flea. You can see Yawar was thinking about it, but SVG now, it's gonna get turned right back around him. I think he's gonna be our first blood. Yawar not willing to commit to that, especially with the time walk on cooldowns.
This is the interesting thing about playing up against a 4-position Sand King, is that he's not really high enough priority to have a sentry in the lane, so Sandstorm just becomes immortality for Flea here.
So it would seem.
He comes back with the sentry, even though it's a 4 position. You still need it after that.
Well, when you consider that you would have gotten that kill if you had detection, that does make a big difference. But over in the middle lane, looks like they managed to go and throw out that combo. So we do get a murder over on Adriana here in the mid lane.
Quinn doing surprisingly well in this matchup. Maybe it's not a surprise because he's obviously incredibly high skill and can 1v1 against almost every mid laner in this region, even in a disadvantage.
With a little help from his friends, though, too, you know.
It's
Having
true. It's true.
make the rotation made a big difference.
But it's a pretty big counter, this Necro versus Kunkka. Like you can see how much damage he's taking.
Oh yeah.
Just from standing here.
Smart spot into a Torn. You see the Grimstroke. TP's on over to the mid lane. And we'll cancel it out, though. So they know that there's no help coming here for 4DR. At least not from that part. Bottom lane, though. They'll find the kill on Yawar. They're trying to get the final hit over here onto King RD, but he's so fast. This Disco Pony's got moves. SVG now having to walk away.
I think they can kill SVG too.
They do. They have the Burrow Strike. They absolutely can get this kill. Followed up with that split. And there it is.
What a combo down here. I like, too, that King RD went for level 2 in Split Earth, just opting to do the maximum amount of damage possible within that Burrow Strike. In some matchups, you can go for the Edict, and in others, you can actually kill somebody with the Split Earth, and it's not an easy calculation to make, but obviously, in this case, they have killed numerous heroes down here.
Yes.
It is working out splendidly.
You realize that the Sand King isn't here, though. Echo Stomp will connect Flea. They're lined up like little ducks here, so that's going to be a very nice Burrow Strike. They have to be careful because King RD dishes out a lot of damage. In fact, SVG might have bitten off more than he can chew now. It's like he might be able to get away. They don't have the Burrow Strike up just yet.
Yawar's no time for 5 seconds.
They're going to
He's gotta be so careful.
Feeling very powerful right now in this lane.
King RD that whole time too was baiting. He had a Fairy Fire and Wand charges, so it looked a lot worse than it really was there for Brazil.
Keep an eye on that top lane. It's been awfully quiet. Again, another Burrow Strike coming through. Not quite landing that Split Earth, though.
close. He went for like the closest that he could get casting that split earth. Yeah, I think if he doesn't hit that, there was no way to hit it, essentially.
It's like all the action has been down here in this bottom lane. Got a little bit in the mid with the rotation from the Mirana, but Quinn's making his way up top now. Does have a haste rune bottled up, hoping to put some pressure on the Arc Warden. Stabile only sitting at level 5. There it is, there's the haste rune. Quinn sees that he wants himself Stabile is gonna go right underneath the tower. The X marks the spot, followed up with the boat. Who have the bubble though, buys a little bit more time. Quinn just running around in circles over here. They forced out the rotation from 40R though. And it looks like, you know, he still has that haste rune. He could just run right back on over to mid, no problem. There's out of camp on his way. You're pretty happy with that if you're Quincy.
This is a classic Quinn.
Oh, bottom lane though. There's too much damage, you are! He's just dead instantly.
They've got to do something with this bot lane. I don't know who they can send down here though to shove it out. I think anybody will die other than Quinn, and if you put Quinn down here, this is the hero that is he's supposed to be active right now. He's the hero that makes things happen, so you can't put him down here. You can't leave the lane either because Leshrac will just take the tower. This is a tough situation. They just choose to keep coming back on Yawar.
You have to try to figure out, like, can you force someone else to rotate? But I guess, you know, SVG's body is going to be the sacrifice as he's just immediately murdered. That's so scary. I don't know how you do this.
Feeding SVG unironically is not a bad idea. Like, I feel like somebody's got to come down here and die to this combo.
Yeah. But you don't want to give them so much of an advantage, though, either at the same time, right?
No, you don't want to give them too much.
Yeah.
No way.
We see that sometimes with Beast Coast, where like Schofield is sacrificing his body, just constantly trying to, you know, make space. He does make space, but after a certain period, even though he's making space, they just start to get too much of that gold lead there. And it becomes a huge problem. King RD has that double damage about halfway done here. Look at SVG. He's like, just follow me. Pay no attention to the purple guy hitting creeps in the lane. But a rotation's coming out now from Stabile, so Yawar's got to find himself a new place to live. Quinn, though, finding the kill over on KJ here in the top lane will alleviate some pressure, and they can start to rotate Faceless Void possibly towards that triangle soon. But definitely a slow start here for Quincy, and Brazil's got to be feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is both teams have one of these offlaners that can just destroy your towers if you leave the lane. But Brazil, they have Sand King. This hero's really great at defending towers, from a Beastmaster in particular. He just stands there and pops Sandstorm. And there's not much that you can do. You have to kill him. You've got no other choice.
Do they have any detection on them? That's the question. Feels like Quinn doesn't really care, though. He does have dust on him, so... If Lee shows himself again, most likely going to die.
Oh, they see him with the Hawk. What a nice
Got
Hawk.
the roar. Slow him down. Arrow comes in hot. Dust comes out, and that's a dead flea. That should be a tower for them, but at the same time, they do manage to take the tower in the bottom lane. So the rotation now coming out from Quinn is going to find the actual Arc Warden here with the X, throwing out the boat. Do have the Grimstroke nearby. They go, they grab both of them up. That's a disaster for Stabile. He loses himself, and he also loses the Tempest double. And now KJ, he's trying to run away from SVG. Does have the Ink Swell on him, gives him a little bit of speed, but in comes Quinn. Does not have the X marks the spot, doesn't even need it. They throw out a big old punch from the Elder Titan, and he's toast.
When people talk about the speed at which a Dota team plays, it's honestly as simple as that, and as simple as this, actually, as they try to make a move on Necro.
Keeps finding more and more, yeah. The X got the mechanism online for him. He's also got the Scythe. Yawar is here, though. There's going to be the Moonlight Shadow, jump forward. There's going to be the Chronosphere over onto the side. They're not able to get the kill over onto Quinn, so they'll end up dropping the Chrono. It's a nice magnetic bubble on the other side. Epicenter coming out from Flea. Gonna just keep chasing after SVG. I think you're okay with this, though. Again, this is a support. They don't even manage to find it as Flea just starts getting wailed away here over by Yawar. He'll collect himself a kill. He's got his eyes now over here onto Adriano. Of course, he used Ghost Shroud. Time walking out here from Yawar will be able to keep him alive. He's sitting a little low. That was a good bubble. It actually protected Adriano, I believe, during that.
Yeah, 100%. Good bubble. This is one of those situations where you see this 5v5 mid and it looks like it could be a Herald game, but it's just this like prisoner's dilemma of if you bring one more person for Quincy or for Brazil, you win and you take the tower. So that means Brazil has to bring another person, and then Quincy has to bring another person, and then everybody's just mid, and you have this Arc Warden who'd like to be farming, but he's mid. And then there,
X marks the spot, into the boat, into the arrow, into everything, the kitchen sink. Lilith, he thinks about it for half a second. He's like, maybe I could roar here. Maybe it's not necessary. And it definitely wasn't necessary. Not with that kind of a setup. Play sitting on the back lines. Does not have the epicenter. Still level 5 on Grimstroke. And King RD has to be careful because he is a little squishy. They're going for the Burrow Strike, though, over here on the side. Over onto Lelis. Again, he still has the roar up, and he's not going to be able to get it off in time because he just burns down too quickly. Now Quinn forced to try to run away. The arrow gets tossed out. They'll Delta Split, though, over on the side of Team Brazil. X marks the spot again over here onto King RD. They'll manage to go land an Echo Snap over onto Flea. He's going to go snap up that Arcane Rune over on the Kunkka. And again, everybody's hanging out in the mid lane, but take a look up top. UR doesn't have the Chronosphere, he's just hitting creeps. Life is good.
True, but Team Brazil, they do hold the mid tower, which I think is really important there. You know, kills are something, but they don't really matter that much. It's just like effective gold that you're going to get for having a mid tower when the enemy team doesn't have your mid tower. Like, that is going to mount no matter how many kills you give. Maybe not Schofield amounts of kills, but this Leshrac and Sand King combo are 100% carrying this game at this point.
They're doing a lot of work.
They're doing so much.
Kunkka. Quinn has to be careful. Goes, activates the Arcane Rune. X marks the spot into the boat. Where's our arrow? Looks like it's going to go a little bit further on the back, so Quinn finds the opening. They find the kill over here onto Grimstroke. And they just take two guys out very easily. King RD needs to be a little careful. They are kind of circling over here in this middle lane. Would love to get this tower. TP comes out though. Arc Warden, Tempest double. They have the Chronosphere if they want to try to go in for a fight, but looks like they're just making space right now. Making pressure on the map. Uh-oh. You are under the Moonlight Shadow. Scouting.
This is really not good for Brazil, what's happening right now. Quincy are taking over the triangle. This is where the Arc Warden is supposed to farm. Costa Bila is literally walking right up into this triangle that has been fully farmed. It does respawn, so... But he did lose one cycle of the triangle, which is exactly where this hero would like to be chilling.
They're trying to get the jump on Yuar here. They should be able to. Yep, the smoke will pop. The jump forward. They need to stun lock him here. They get the silence off, and they'll be able to do it. So, smoke into each other's triangles, and only one yielded results.
Costa Bila sniffed that one out. But, you know, with that being said, Quincy, once again, they do farm up the Brazil triangle, and I don't think Brazil is confident enough, and they don't really have the heroes to take over Quincy's triangle. So they get the kill, they get a good ward down, but that is all they're going to get, it looks
Quinn
like.
wants to go back in again here, over onto Flea, gets the Burrow Strike off into the boat. Throwing out the arrow, they've got the creeps though in the way. Quinn's got to be careful here. If he does manage to get hit with that split earth, he's gonna try to run away. I hear a roar on the back lines. The scythe comes out. Quinn, he's still alive, but he will eventually get taken down here as Flea was sitting very, very low himself, but did manage to get saved here. Nice bubble getting dropped down by the Arc Warden. SVG, he's gone a little bit too far. He just got to be able to get that kill. So things go from bad to a little bit worse for the side of Quincy crew. But again, it's not necessarily about the kills. You are throwing out the arrow. 4 DRs, sidestepping pretty easily here. Sikuar just wants to go back to farming. We'll be able to go maybe clean up the board quick. Oh, the stars. Too greedy there, Flea.
Flea's probably bonking himself on the head after that one. That was a...
Yeah.
That was a bit of a meme.
That was a bonker.
Yeah. Go for the boars, and I think Quincy needed that space. It feels like after the last couple of minutes. Yawar did show up to that fight, but it felt kind of weird. He doesn't have items to fight at the moment. He's got a Midas power tread, so you know, if that same situation happens, but he has the a Maelstrom to actually take the fight following up Flea dying, it could be it could be very bad for Brazil. But of course, the same can be said for Costa Bile and Orc Warden once he has some items. He's been showing up and being effective with just the bubble.
And that works. He's currently top of the net worth, 8.1k, 7.8 over on Kunkka, and 7.3 on this Leshreck. So it's working out. I know that Yuar has been spending an awful lot of time here in the top lane, but he can kind of smell it happening. He's just going to go over to the mid lane, join up with the rest of his team. He's got his Midas off on cooldown now, so...
Radiant are scanning.
Amazing game sense from him. Just knowing that smoke is happening.
Well, you know, they
Feeling
have
like-
these wards over here in their triangle, so if no one's showing there and they're not showing in lane, chances are, swiggity swooty, they're coming for Yuar's booty.
Oh, it was in vision, apparently. This mid ward in the river.
That'll
Possibly.
also do it.
In any case, it's you know you know that it's gonna happen. You know that they're gonna you can't run into the other heroes. Like it's only Yuar that can really get gone on here.
Mm-hmm.
They,
And he's
they
the
have
one
to-
that's they're making the space for, so...
Yeah, they have to keep going for him. It would be different if it wasn't like a Beastmaster, ET, Kunkka, but like these other heroes are really hard to fight into. Just to smoke into them. Like I don't see who you jump
Radiant's
where
top tower is
it goes.
Look at
well.
this. They're using the illusion as a bait. There's everybody showing their cards. Nice arrow landing over onto King RD. Need some more damage here. We'll just throw in the boat. The Torrent need a little bit more though, and there's going to be following up with the X marks the spot. The Air Splitter's going to get tossed out as well. King RD, he's going to be the sacrificial goat.
Dire structures
As they
are fortified.
successfully get them off of their tower and keep pushing them away while you are. Again, back at farming, does have that javelin. He's going to have the mithril hammer very shortly as well.
What do you think of goat sacrifice?
Dire's bottom tower.
I think it's a cultural part of some people's cultures.
Okay.
Yeah. I have friends who are Nigerian, and that's part of their rite of passage where they have to sacrifice a goat. Top lane, though, looks like they might be sacrificing Quinn if they're not careful. Flee out of mana, though. He's got the silence off over on Quinn. The Moonlight Shadow comes out. They'll be able to go take it down as they just bunny hop away over here on MSS. And they'll walk away. They see King
Fight.
RD. They thought about it. They're thinking about it. Look at this. Look at the way Yuar's positioned. Oh, that could be such a good chrono. Does not have the Maelstrom just yet.
He
Be
doesn't
careful.
wanna
There's a
walk in
lot
blind.
of people in this vicinity, Yuar. You might be getting a little greedy here. Time walking away. Arc Warden teleporting on in over on the creep on the back line. Use that spirit to be able to find Yuar. See, X marks the spot. The time walk forward. And the Yule's coming out again over here onto King RD. Get a boat off. Not quite landing over there into the bubble. So we'll go right back in again. King RD is absolutely toast. No roar required. They hiding over on the corner. They do manage to get the dust off, but can they cancel him out in time? Are they going to be able to do it? They use the roar. They make sure that they get the kill on the Sand Queen, and MSS gets himself a mega kill streak.
All right, there's one of those situations where Quinn's like super high skill just carries them in a fight because he X'd and then baited with a fake torrent, forcing the Yules, and then followed up. Actually, I don't even think he fake torrented. I think he just expected to get instantly boated. But he follows up with the boat on the self Yules from Leshrac, and they even saved the Beastmaster Roar. So once again, going to mechanical skill and just trust in your teammates. Lelis figured that they could kill the Leshrac without expending the roar, which lets them use the roar on Flee. So just very high mechanical skill in that fight from Quincy carrying them.
You're just playing so well together, honestly. In the last, like, gosh, what is it, half a year now since they picked up Lelis on their squad? Just the trust that comes out from this team is really incredible because they were having some issues earlier on before they became Quincy crew, too. And it just feels like this piece really kind of put them where they need to be.
Yeah, Lelis is a gem. He's like ascended past the point where he's not just like a good Brazilian player. He's like
He's a good player.
he's just like a tier 1 player. You know what
He's
I mean?
an
It's like,
ESL MVP, man. He got himself the Benz.
there's certain players that are like, oh, they're like a good player for like America. You know, they're a good player for Brazil. But then there's players
Then
that just
there's
like
Lelis.
supersede that. Lelis is definitely one of those players.
There's an arrow right on to Flea, right on the butt. There's Splitter, and he is dead. That should be a courier. Oh, they see KJ. They want this pretty badly here. We'll throw a silence out over here onto Quinn, and they have the X. He's coming right back into the loving arms of SVG. Quinn manages to dodge the arrow, though, so takes a little bit longer to get the kill than I think they wanted, but in the top lane, here you are. He was hunting. He still has that Aegis. He still has the Chronosphere. There's the roar immediately, though. They kind of back off. They'll go in for the Chronosphere, though. They figure they got the damage. I got a friend here. I got Lelis. I'm going to walk into this bubble. Got to turn back around. I still have an Aegis, and they'll back off after finding that opening. But the rest of the team, they're here now. They're looking for it. Stabile, nice arrows, just gonna walk right into it, plus the boat being thrown out. Doesn't quite manage to land, though, over here on the Psycho Stabile. Stabile is gonna get taken down. Flea, he's here, but he's already dusted up, and he is just goodbye. No longer any sort of a threat, as now this poor Necrophos, I don't even like Necrophos, is just slowly going to get beat down in a circle. Oof.
Such a slow hero, isn't it, this Necros? Like, if you're in a fight, and it's going on, and you start losing, you're still in no matter what, you know?
Right.
You can't.
You just buy
run away
time.
from it.
You buy time with the Ghost Shroud, you know, a couple of heals.
Guys, help!
The only hero I hate more than Necrophos is probably Silencer.
I agree to that one.
God, I hate Silencer.
Silencer, I mean, both of these heroes just make the boring part of the game extended. Silencer's
Right.
like, you can't cast spells.
Right?
Necro's like, you're dead for
Dust
longer.
again. Lee just cannot show himself anywhere. And look at the damage coming out from Lelis. What the what?
Solar Vlads.
Solar Vlads. Sweet baby Jesus.
I like this build a lot more than
Plus the crit. Ugh. Mid lane, Quinn is here. Quinn is putting pressure on your tower, forcing your Necrophos to run away. Just does not care. They've got just so much momentum going on. X into Torrent doesn't quite manage to land. There's going to be the arrow tossed out, though, sidestepping it very nicely. There is, of course, a tier 2 up, guys, so maybe back off and do that. But that's the real cool stuff. There's actually a tier 1 still going on here. They're getting real greedy. King RD, there's going to be time walk forward. He wants this kill over onto Costabile. While this is all going down, there's the BKB coming out from Quinn as he throws out the boat over onto King RD. Not quite enough damage, though, on that arrows. Just a little late. So Costabile managing to run away from Yawar. And they still have the Aegis online. Needs to use that Midas, though. Lelis, now roar for another 15 seconds. Another haste drink for Quinn, too. It's gonna be go time again soon, baby.
He has been using these runes to their
max.
to their maximum capacity. Like, legitimately, I think this is one of those situations where you're really okay, actually.
Flea? He's got the rest of the team here. The bubble, but Lelis again nearby. Does have the ghost ship in just a moment, but he's got the haste rune again.
And there's the haste rune.
How are you gonna hold him into place? You're not. That's the problem. Big old boat coming in with an arrow. You are joining in the fight here. Should be able to they throw down the Chronosphere and it lands just perfectly on the sides of both of these guys, plus the Earth Splitter. They're just gonna chase down King RD. No problem. X marks the spot. Buys a little bit more time with the Yules into arrow, and there it is. There's the double kill. What a beautiful Chronosphere coming out from Yawar. Perfectly placed to get those guys just on the edges. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was really nice. Not going for like the 3-man chrono because he trusted that the stuns were going to be enough damage to finish off the Necrophos.
Beautiful Dota.
And the Sand King and Leshrac are so important for these fights. They're the stunners. They're honestly like the primary damage dealers too. Necro's just a healer and he's a scythe. So if Sand King and Leshrac are dealt with, there's no way to fight for Team Brazil at this point. You need to get like 2 or 3 more items on Archborn, and then we can talk. Okay, this hero can do enough damage to fight.
I just love this momentum coming off from Quinn. Every time, like, it's every single movement that he does on the map, and granted, you know, yes, it's Dota, everything should have, you know, a purpose, but it always follows up with an objective. Like, he's constantly moving, he's constantly pushing out waves, he's getting pickoffs, he's just making so much space for Yawar. And then the backup team, like, just coming out here again. Another boat being thrown out over to Costabile. He's got to go try to hide in his bubble. And there's the roar again. Costabile, he just can't do anything. He just doesn't have any space to breathe as they go right back in again. They get the dust up. Look at Flea. He just almost got punched to death by SVG at one point. Followed up with the Echo Stomp. There's no armor on these bad boys. The rest of Team Brazil forced to run away, and Yawar, he's hungry. He's looking for more. He doesn't have a Chronosphere, but he's hoping maybe he can grab someone. In fact, does manage to go and find himself a Grimstroke, but realizing maybe I've gone a little bit too far, I'll back off. I'll join my team. I'll actually play objectives.
Yeah, no bash. He was looking for the first hit bash. But I totally agree with what you're saying with Quinn. I was going to mention that earlier, that like it's not only that he goes to objectives all the time, it's like the speed at which he moves.
Oh! Alright, they're trying to make plays over here onto Yawar. They're tying them both up together with the scythe. So they'll get a kill on Yawar. But they're so far in right now. Like they don't have any objectives that they can take after this. So they finally take him down in his spree. That's about it for now.
We're finally seeing that synergy in the Team Brazil draft too.
Flea. For this opening, does manage to go, land the Burrow Strike over onto Lelis. Turn it back around again, the BKB coming out from Lelis. He does so much damage right now. Flea is absolutely obliterated. Arrow gets thrown out, so he's gonna go and connect over onto one of these creeps. So use the Roar, that's a dead 4DR. And who else wants some? Who else can they grab here? Looks like they're not gonna be able to quite grab the Grimstroke. Not this time, but a fast turnaround here from Quincy crew.
I think the reason that fight works for Team Brazil is because you have you get the double scythe, double burrow. I think it was a single burrow, but then you have the double scythe to follow up, as well as like the Ink Swell plus the Sand King combo. So it looks like after that, that's the way that they need to take fights if they want to win until they get some sort of, you know, gold advantage back. Maybe not an advantage, but if they can change the disparity so that it's not so huge for Quincy crew. Maybe there's some other way that they can fight, but it seems like hitting that double scythe is basically the only way that they can properly take a team fight right now and win.
It's just tough because no matter where you go, Quinn suddenly shows up here. Oh, followed up here with Flea. They've got the dust again. The leap forward coming out from MSS, looking for that arrow. Followed up with the clumsy net. It's a really nice way to set things up. So they'll find a kill on Flea. This Tempest double. It's thrown out. He immediately gets disarmed though, thanks to the Heaven's Halberd picked up over on Quinn.
That net into double torrent was very cool. Wow. Big fan of that.
Wow! That is what you sound like.
Just look at the confidence with which Quinn's playing with here. There's so many heroes. He's so far forward. Arrow landing over onto this Necrophos. Lelis getting slowed down a little bit. Has the axes though, and that's a dead Necrophos. See you later.
I think the reason he's playing so overconfident there is because the way that you set up for Brazil to actually kill him through his BKB is only with the Sand King. Nothing else works. I don't think within a scythe that Leshrac can like burst and do enough damage to kill Quinn there. So as long as Francis is dead, they can do anything they please on Quinn. So that's a lot of pressure on Francis to not die in this game. And
Francis likes to make risky moves.
He does. He's a side lane pusher. He feeds. He runs down lanes.
Oh,
and
the courier. Nothing on it, luckily, but that is going to make things a little bit more difficult for Costabile to get any of his items.
105 gold for a courier. That's insane. That gave 500 gold at this point in the game.
King RD, do you know what lurks in the woods? Do you know what's running for you? Looks like they'll change their mind, though. They did just pick up the BKB for Yawar, too, so gonna go grab themselves an Aegis. I was about to say, I was like, I don't think Quinn's died. He's died once so far. He's only died once, so this is definitely an Aegis where you are here, no problem. Quinn has just been so survivable. Tempest double over on the side, though. Take a little bit of scouting, but there it is, and there's cheese. Don't forget your cheese, boys.
Yawar's doing the lifesteal thing, where he had a lifesteal item for taking Roche, and then he used the Greater Fairy Fire in his backpack, and now he just swapped it in.
Nice.
Classic.
Greedy cores taking our stuff.
Once
not
again,
sharing.
Yeah. Carries do not share.
Oh my god, SVG has an Ag Scepter.
Okay. Did not expect that.
No, they do find a kill though on MSS. Sorry guys, I'm just staring at this Ag Scepter with my mouth hanging open right now.
Yeah, they epicentered him with the
But-
Grim Bubble.
But now they don't have that for the next push. Although I guess you don't really want to push without your Murano, right? You can wait a little bit.
Yeah, you wait a while. I think that's your Greaves and Glimmer Cape. It's
Yeah, it's pretty important.
pretty damn important. They are strong enough to hold this triangle, though. I think fighting 4v5 into this area as Brazil is going to be game losing. Or 5v4, I should say.
Ooh, Yawar was thinking about it, though. Get a little cheeky in the middle lane. There's an Ags completed now for Kunkka. And everybody's getting Ags. That Ags, though.
I love this new way of playing Void. Oh, actually, Quinn.
Quinn just walking on up there. He's got a double damage rune. Does not care. It is go time. The jump forward immediately from Yawar. He places the bubble. Fleet will follow up. Again, they still have that Aegis online here for Yawar, so they're going to have to use a lot to take him down. Quinn, all right, they're going to be leashed up together, so they have to move as a team, but it doesn't matter. Adriano, he's dead. They use the Roar for it. Throw out down the split. And do need to be careful, though. Yawar sitting pretty low, doesn't really want to get taken out here. Not just yet. So he'll TP out with an X from Quinn. He's going to come back. Full health. They still have cheese on the Kunkka. And round 2. With a Mirana nearby, too. They don't have to worry about the Roar this time. They do have to worry about the Chronosphere.
It is difficult to push into Flea without some sort of ground vision. They need a center. He's clipping him every time with this torrent, though. Very nicely on Quinn.
Bubble gets dropped again, hoping that they can get that dust over here onto Flea. Just sidestep it a little bit. One more hit over onto the tower should do the trick. And look at this, Flea just takes so much damage. Fuel's getting used by King RD. Will manage to go land over onto Yawar. He's going to try to stay alive a little bit longer. He's going to be able to time walk away. Still has the Chronosphere, still has this Aegis. He's just being so very patient. All right, there it is. There's the side. That's his first life, but on the back line, look at SVG. He just runs on in there, just punching everyone to death. This Elder Titan, what the heck is happening? He wants the kill over there on Adriano, too. He's not going to be able to get him because it's going to be Quinn who finishes him off. But just like that, they take down 3 heroes. SVG just punching and swinging on this position 4 Elder Titan. Position 5 Elder Titan. Look at this guy. He wants some more. He wants it, and it's not looking like Team Brazil wants to give it to him here. And then again, Gostabile's got the bubble. SVG just walks right inside. That's another punch. It's a dead KJ, and I believe this is going to be game number 1. There it is. There's the GG getting hauled, and they'll chase after Costabile just for one more kill, just to pad the stats.
That ET, you could tell that was some spite from the laning phase, right? It's like, you killed me, now I'm gonna kill you.
Is that how you do that, Jenkins? Good lord.
Yes, absolutely. Dota players are filled with spite, especially a born and bred American like SVG.
Good God. Yeah, no, the Elder Titan Ags is a thing and is terrifying. But just look at these stats, man. Look at this. See, Quinn had 10-1-15, Lelis 3-1-23, 7-1-21. You know, like these guys, they took these fights so well. You had, poor SVG, he had to throw his body in the way of what Team Brazil had going on down there. Because King RD and Flea, they were doing so much work. But then
he threw his body at them in a very,
he threw
very
his
different way.
He threw his fists at them that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
felt like an entire body.
That was a beautiful game of Dota for Quincy crew. And I have to say, Quinn looked fantastic on his Kunkka.
Doesn't he always? What a legendary player, man. He just I hate to be the mechanics guy because I really do seriously believe that so much of Dota is won through like strategy and thinking and things like that. But man, Quincy crew, like they played like a bunch of zoomers in this game, like the just the mechanics, like the Yule's baits with the torrents, and you are jumping in but not using chrono because he was actually just baiting to get the ghost shroud out or to get a blink out. Lelis holding the roar. You had the combos with the arrow. Like there were so many just really nice mechanical things from Quincy crew. And I can say that's definitely one of the things that I've seen from them that makes them a lot better than tons of these NA SA teams. Their team fighting is like pristine.
It's
They
beautiful.
they are so good at playing in team fights together where they can like lose lanes, maybe lose the strategy side of things to some degree, but then they just dumpster you in a team fight because they press their buttons nearly flawlessly. It's very hard to deal with.
I think one of the things I really enjoy about watching Quincy Crew is, usually you say that a team fight is beautiful, it's flawless, and a lot of the times people will say that it's textbook, but in this case, it's not textbook. It's evolving. Like you see them say, "Okay, I'm going to fake him out," or "Okay, I'm going to, wait to do this because I have this prediction that they're going to move this particular way," and I think that's just so cool to watch.
Yeah.
They look great though. And again, these are the guys. These are the kings of NA and SA technically because these are NASA tournaments. So if you want to win, you got to take down these kings. And it's going to be one hell of a struggle. So, it's good
Yeah.
though. Team Brazil's going to get another chance. It's a best of 3. They could, bounce right back. Maybe, they had a great laning phase over with Flea and King RD. Perhaps they can make that go a little bit further next time. But we are going to take a short break. Get yourself a monster break, right? One of our sponsors. And just kick back, relax, enjoy the tunes. And when we come back, we'll have game number 2.